Since both of her parents' passing, Bawang Putih has lived with her stepmother, Mak Kundur, and her stepsister, Bawang Merah. Both of them despised Bawang Putih. She was often scolded and beaten every single day. One night, Bawang Putih dreamed of meeting her mother. Her mother told Bawang Putih to go into the forest and look for a shaded banyan tree. Go comfort your heart, my dear, and be patient. Believe that one day you will find happiness that you seek, said Bawang Putih's mother. Next day, Bawang Putih immediately finished her housework. When her stepmother went to work and her stepsister was still asleep, Bawang Putih secretly went into the forest. She looked for the shaded banyan tree. She finally got there after searching for that tree that she had been looking for the longest time. She then saw a cradle hanging from the banyan tree. The place was like a garden where the princess of heaven comes down to earth to play. And as she sat on the cradle suddenly swung by itself. The longer the cradle swung, the faster the cradle goes. She could see the flowers surrounding the tree dancing. Her heart felt incredibly at ease. But suddenly, Bawang Putih remembered Mak Kundur. She was afraid because if Mak Kundur came home and found out that she was not at home, she would be scolded. But Bawang Putih did not know how to stop the cradle. Bawang Putih then said to the cradle in hopes that it will stop by itself. "Oh, cradle, please stop. I need to get home." Suddenly, the cradle stopped by itself magically, and the flowers also stopped dancing. One day, Bawang Putih sat on the cradle as usual. Unbeknownst to her, a prince was watching her. He was interested to see how the cradle could swing on its own when Bawang Putih sits on it. When Bawang Putih was about to go home, he told his escort to follow her. After finding out where Bawang Putih lived, he went to the house. At that time, Mak Kundur and Bawang Merah were in the yard. "Where is your other child?" asked the prince. Mak Kundur thought that he was a rich man. "I don't have any other child. Bawang Merah is my only child," said Mak Kundur. The prince told Mak Kundur about a girl that he saw sitting on the cradle in the forest. Mak Kundur lied to the prince and said that Bawang Merah was the one who played on the cradle. After the prince left, Mak Kundur forced Bawang Putih to show the place of the cradle. Mak Kundur brought Bawang Merah to sit on the cradle, but it does not swing by itself. The prince then watched them from behind the tree. He sent his escort to Mak Kundur's house to bring Bawang Putih there. His escort immediately left and found Bawang Putih locked up and tied up in the house. The prince's escort immediately untied the rope and brought Bawang Putih to meet the prince. Mak Kundur was surprised to see the prince and Bawang Putih showing up together. When Bawang Putih sat on the swing and sang, the cradle swung fast. "You lied to me," said the prince. Only then did Mak Kundur know that the man was the prince. "You are a cruel mother. You have tortured Bawang Putih," said the prince again. Mak Kundur cried and asked for forgiveness from the prince. Bawang Merah moaned and cried because she envied Bawang Putih. But the kind-hearted Bawang Putih had asked the prince to forgive Mak Kundur and Bawang Merah. He was so amazed by the wonderful nature of Bawang Putih. The prince eventually married Bawang Putih and they both lived happily ever after.